Hey, good people. This morning, I posted something that said, when there's a speck in my eye, there's a spot on everything. A friend jumped in my inbox and asked me to try to explain that a little further. So it's a cryptic reference to a scriptures in Book of Matthew, chapter 7, verses 3 through 5. Basically, it says, "You hypocrite, remove the log from your own eye so you can see well enough to remove the speck from your brother's eye." And the whole scripture can be taken very literally. Well, actually, it can't be taken literally. You can't put a log in your eye. You can't have a speck, but not a log. But if you think about what is implied on the surface, that's what I meant when I said literally. On the surface, it's talking about a level of hypocrisy, right? Where we've got huge issues of our own, but we like to focus on the small issues of other people because it's easy to point a finger. Look over there. Look what they doing. Look what she did. Look what he doing, and not really address the stuff that we're doing. That's one level of looking at it. But when you study the scripture, there are a couple of other angles you might want to consider, right? So a log in my eye or a speck in my eye indicates some sort of obstruction of my view. It indicates that I probably can't see clearly, and I may not be operating with all the necessary information. That I've got this thing in my eye that's keeping me from seeing clearly. So this thing becomes a bit of a distraction, if you will. It's an obstruction that prevents me from having full clarity. Maybe I'm choosing to think a certain way. Maybe I'm choosing to see things a certain way when they don't have to be that way. That's all objective. That's all based on the way I'm choosing to think about it. And I could easily remove the log or the speck from my eye if I choose to think differently. So another way to think about it is perspective, right? I've got this particular view on things, and my view is the right way, and my view is the only way, and my view becomes such a hindrance that I can't even begin to appreciate someone else's perspective. That I can't even begin to understand how somebody else can look at that thing and not see the log that I see. And not see the obstruction, the block, the blight, the scars, the mars, the dirt, and the filth that I see because I've got this log in my eye. So, when you tell people they have a log in their eye, they immediately say, or assume you're calling them the hypocrite. So I didn't say anything about the log. Likewise, I didn't say anything about anyone else. I just spoke for myself. And what I said was, when there is a speck in my eye, you've had something in your eye before. When there's a speck in my eye, it doesn't matter what I'm looking at, when I'm looking at it, or where I'm looking, I'm going to see a spot. There's going to be a dot. There's going to be something that mars the surface of whatever it is I'm looking at. And it has nothing to do with what's out there. It has everything to do with what's in here. So there are a lot of things in our lives right now that don't look right, that don't feel right, that aren't operating right, that aren't being executed the way we think, that people aren't acting the way we think they ought to, things aren't going the way we think they should, and it's not about anyone else out there. It's about that speck in my own eye. I need to deal with this. Change starts within. My perspective starts here. If everything I look at, I got a problem with it, ain't nothing wrong with that. Something's wrong with me. Lord, remove the speck from my eye. Please, so I can see clearly. Be good, people.